Well, you know, we knew McGovern was going to kill him. We knew McGovern was going to kill him. And the sad thing is, McGovern was a moderate guy. He was not a really good guy. The signature, yep. Hey, oh, be careful. Oh, you still got it. Take that wire.
That's how they get it.
That was it. No, I don't want to be too egomaniacal. I look at all these flags. The Maryland flag really stands out. Really stands out. I mean, I don't want to say it. You're not that kind of guy. What's that? Yeah, going down that was a, yeah. You're supposed to stand up. Sounds to me like we ought to do that. There we go. Appreciate it. You got it.
Well, thank you. Thank you to our great President, Joe Biden, our great Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, and a special round of applause to all the Senate and House members who are here and those who are not. It couldn't have happened without all of you working as a team. So thank you very much. Now, it's been a long and difficult year in America. We've lost so many in so short a time. But finally, hope is on the horizon and help is on the way. What do we say to America? We say to America, help is on the way. Help is on the way. You will receive your $1,400 checks in a few weeks. Help is on the way. People are being vaccinated more quickly and more effectively than we ever imagined. Help is on the way. Half the children in America will no longer be in poverty. And help is on the way. Our schools will open more quickly and more safely than anyone has ever thought. We Democrats made promises. We made promises in Georgia. We made promises in the country. We said if we gained the Senate, kept the House, and elected the President, we would finally get things done and get us out of this COVID crisis. And we are on the road to success. Help is on the way. This is a wonderful day for America. This is the most significant piece of legislation in so many ways in decades. And we are just getting started. Help is on the way. Thank you, everybody.
you so much. Good afternoon. Good afternoon in the Rose Garden. Thank you, Mr. President, Madam Vice President. An honor to be with you and to be with the Majority Leader of the Senate, Chuck Schumer. I join him in acknowledging our members who are here, many chairs of committees, members of our leadership, because without all of you, this would not have happened. And it certainly would not have happened without Joe Biden as President of the United States. Mr. President, everybody is complimenting us, and every time we get a compliment, I say, I accept on behalf of the House Democrats and of the staff of the House Democrats, and I know of the Senate staff as well. They worked so very, very hard. But let me say this about my members. Our chairs were dazzling in their own work, intellect, integrity, imagination for the American people, working with their Senate colleagues. I say their beautiful diversity of our members. And I say to them, our diversity is our strength. Our unity is our power. And in this bill, our diversity to protect everyone in our country, to end the disparity in access to everything that the bill presents. Our diversity was reflected in the House and the Senate in that policy. But our unity on behalf of all of the American people is what made this such a triumph. Whatever differences there may have been, shall we say, as I say to the chairman, exuberance, the leader, certain exuberances here and there, we all knew our purpose. We were unified on behalf of the American people, for the children, for their health, for their education, for the economic security of their families. Yes, this is a great day to be in the Rose Garden and to have us be able to fulfill the promise that President Biden has made all along, that help is on the way. Promise made, promise fulfilled. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and Mr. Majority Leader, and America. The President promised help is on the way, and today, help has arrived. Help has arrived for the workers who lost their jobs. Help has arrived for the students who've been stuck at home. Help has arrived for the families that have struggled to put food on their table, and for the small businesses that have struggled to keep their doors open. Help has arrived, America. This landmark legislation will get relief to families, get support to communities, and make sure more shots get in arms. And I want to thank the Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, and Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and all of the members of Congress who voted for this legislation and helped lead to its success. And of course, we would not be here today were it not for the leadership of our President, Joe Biden. And I just want to say something about the President. From the beginning of this, Joe said, we got to tell the stories. We got to tell the stories. We got to show that we understand what the people are experiencing and what they need. And I've been in rooms with Joe when it's just he and I. I've been in rooms with Joe when it's just a small group of our team or when the cameras are there, and he's the same person every time. And he's always talking about what do the people need. And you know, when the President and I were preparing to take office, we knew what we were up against. So we started working on a plan, this plan, the American Rescue Plan. And Mr. President, from the very start, you sought the people out. You asked them, as only Joe can do, how you doing? You listened to what they said, and you remembered what they said. And every day, in every meeting, you reminded us who we were doing this for, the American people. and in particular, the American people who are hurting the most. The workers who have been out of a job for 6 months to a year, the families that lost a loved one, the communities that have been torn apart by this deadly virus. You, Mr. President, have carried a card in your breast pocket with the number of those Americans who have died from COVID-19. Every day he carries that card, literally keeping their memory close to your heart. You have grieved, Mr. President, out loud with our nation, mourning the loss of so many extraordinary Americans. Your empathy has become a trademark of your presidency and can be found on each and every page of the American Rescue Plan. Joe Biden, Mr. President, you had a vision, you had a purpose, and you had faith that the American people, regardless of who they voted for, would support this plan, simply because it will help. You had faith that Congress would pass this plan simply because it is the best thing for the American people. And you put in the work to make it happen, to get relief directly to the American people. And we've both served in the Senate, so we know there's rarely been a bill that's so concrete and tangible. Mr. President, people will feel and they will see what we all did here. They will see the checks in their bank accounts. They will see the child tax credits when they file their taxes, when they return to work, when they return to school, when they reopen their businesses, when they hug their grandchildren for the first time in a year. Americans will see what we did here, what you did, Mr. President, and they will feel the impact of this bill for generations to come. And that's what happens when you make historic investments in communities of color, and tribal communities, and rural communities. That's what happens when you lift half of those children living in poverty out of poverty. Because of you, Mr. President, help has arrived, and on behalf of our nation, thank you. And it is now my great, great honor to introduce the President of the United States of America, Joe Biden.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Kamala. You know, when I look out over what happened the last 50 days, when Jill and I first got a chance to move into this magnificent building behind you, I promised the American people, and I guess it's becoming an overused phrase, that help was on the way. But today, with the American Rescue Plan now signed into law, we've delivered on that promise. And I don't mean I've delivered, we've delivered. Look out there on all of you. Patty, there'd still be people, kids in poverty, were it not for all the work you did all those years. And I want to say to Bernie, stepping up and making the case why this was so transformational made a big difference in how a lot of people voted. I look out at all of you, House members as well, who have made the case to the American people why this is so important. I watched my buddy Jim down in South Carolina stand up and talk about how it's going to affect individual people. My inclination is to mention